Nope, yep, it's working. All right, sorry about that. What's happening, guys? Welcome to Film Junkie Live. Sorry, the stupid Streamlabs decided to be like, hey, I'm going to shut off your microphone right when you go live. So that's always fun. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Film Junkie Live on your Monday, end of Monday. It is November 18th. We are just rolling through this freaking month, I tell you what. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. We got plenty to talk about. Who knew that we were going to get all this freaking DCU stuff today? My God. Lots to talk about when it comes to that. So good to see you guys. Make sure you hit that like, thumbs up, share, follow me on all the sock meds, do everything that is around me. All right, how we doing here? We got Eric right here, for heaven's sake. Gunn, just acknowledge that Peacemaker is tied to the old DCEU and get it over with. Selective reboots have always been stupid and confusing people more than just a separate universe. Ryan, hello, good to see you. We got Buster Barnes right here. I've been saying for ages, Peacemaker Season 1 is canon. Bar the JL scene. Glad Gunn confirmed it. It's not hard to understand. We got Darkness Under the Wind. How's it going? We got Mr. Nobody. What's new with DC? Oh, there's plenty of stuff that was talked about today. Plenty to go over. So it should be good stuff. So let's see who else we got. We got Shano right here. What's happening, sir? Braden, what is going on? Oops. What's going on? Hit the wrong one. Hit that button, not the other. If people can accept an actor recast as somebody else or multiverse versions of characters, they can accept one cameo of the JL not being canon. It's not that complicated. But we're dealing with like religion here. First I said, just kidding. We got Antonio Baker. What's happening? Eric Patterson. What is up? What is up? Who else we got? Eric, that is true. Selective characters, but I also don't think that people really know who Peacemaker is. They're starting to know who he is now, but never care about him in the past. Yeah, it's true. I mean, there is a season 2 for a reason. I mean, yes, I get it. It's James Gunn's show, and he's running DC Studios, but Warner Brothers, I don't think they would have given him the green light if it didn't do well when it came to streaming. What's going on, JD McRae? Good to see Creature Commandos. Yeah, they're all dropping. You know, we'll chime in on some of them. I'm not going to go over all of them, but yeah, there's plenty out there. What's going on, Mr. Balga? How's it going? Good evening. So you know what it means that James Gunn already screened Superman. That means it's a failure. I know. Did they say it was unwatchable? WB will sell DC IP to Netflix. And Snyder, oh, why are you stirring the pot there? Oh, Mr. Balga, stirring the pot. Love hurts. What's going on? Love hurts. How's it going? We got Hunter Iggy right here, too. Tony Movie Chappie D9. Nah, damn it. One more time. Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp fan. When are we going to get that trailer for Superman? Ooh, well, James Gunn answered that question, too. That's for damn sure. He definitely answered that, so we'll get that video clip as well. What's going on, Jacob? Watching Anora again at my AMC. Have a good show. Okay, good to see you. I know Peacemaker. Yeah, what's going on, Music Man? Howdy, Miss Stephanie T. Always great to see you. Always great to see you. Yeah, we got some things to talk about. Yeah, like I said, plenty of DCU news that was just happening right here. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Share all that, do all that, follow on all the sock meds that are around, of course. But yeah, we'll talk about that. We talked on the Vodka stream about Zack Snyder's new movie, but I wanted to kind of talk about it again. You know, it wasn't there wasn't too much news to really, and I just wanted to go over that article once again and just kind of talk about it just a little bit more. And then of course we'll talk about that box office, the red one, more like the dead one. All right, there it is. Where's the rim shot? And then we don't have the Penguin anymore, which sucks. But to fill that void, hopefully, Dune Prophecy can fill that void a little bit. So I'm going to give my review of that first episode as the last topic of tonight's show. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend, had a pretty good weekend, visited some family. On Saturday, we all got together because my Nana, who passed away earlier this year, may she rest in peace. It's her birthday this Thursday, so we all got together, visited the gravesite, and then of course had some dinner to celebrate, or not dinner, but lunch. And it was great seeing family again and doing all that. Had a really good time with it. So, and then of course just celebrating her, because she was a fantastic woman. Other than that, just worked on things, and then of course watched football all day yesterday. But anyways, all right, let's stop rambling here. Let's get to it. Let's get to some tweets, and we're gonna start off right here because I think it's official. I think there might not be an official thing when it comes to this, but apparently there's negotiations, and she was on the short list with somebody else, and apparently she's going to be the new Lara Croft, and that, of course, is Miss Sophia Turner. That's right, apparently. Sophie Turner, not Sophia. I'm too busy thinking about Sophia, from the Penguin. She's still on my mind. Sophia Falcone, I still love you. Anyways. But according to sources out there, Variety and all them, they said that Sophie Turner is actually going to be, she's in negotiations to play Lara Croft in the Amazon Tomb Raider series. So, I asked people how they felt about it. I think it was like kind of a mixed bag. Some people didn't like it. Some people did. I mean, I haven't seen her in too much, to be honest. I haven't. I was trying to think of like things that I've seen her. I mean, obviously when it came to the X-Men universe, her as Jean Grey, there's that, I guess, but I don't know. I haven't really, I was just kind of thinking, I was like, I mean, she is a redhead, which is interesting, when it comes to like the whole ginger thing, how like in Hollywood, they, instead of like, they always seem to swap out the ginger character with like somebody else, but now they're like making a character who has brunette hair, but she's not like full on. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I'm like going, okay, if they see something in her, that's perfectly fine. I'm just hoping she doesn't get a sunburn. Anyways, that's where I was getting. Zing. But we'll see what happens. But it hasn't been fully official, I don't think. I think it's just in negotiations. It sounded like it was official, but maybe not quite. And then, guys, if you ever visit Burbank, California, well, there's a couple of statues that you have to put on your list of places to go. And you guys have seen pictures, like when we did Full Circle last year. Can't believe it's been a year and a half since Full Circle. Last year, we met in front of the Batman statue that was in this little plaza that has like a movie theater and restaurants and whatnot. We met there to, basically do almost like a meet and greet, which was it was cool, some fans of the channel and the Vodka stream and everything. We met with people right in front of the Batman statue, which is just right in front of this little plaza. I remember going to the WB tour, had no idea where the Batman statue was, and then we decided to get some lunch before we were going to go on the tour. We just walked right around the corner, and bam, there's the Batman statue. Haven't seen the Superman statue, or no, not Superman statue. There isn't a Superman statue yet. There is a Wonder Woman statue, not exactly sure where it's at, but now, instead of it, and this is kind of interesting, I'm guessing they're going to wait till next year to get the Superman statue, but now we have a John Stewart Green Lantern statue. That's right. There we go. That's pretty awesome. There's Jim Lee right there. The unveiling looks pretty cool. And then, of course, James Gunn was posting about it as well. Not too shabby. Looks pretty good. It's kind of funny because I don't know if you guys have seen like statues that have been created for athletes and how awful they look. I mean, I guess it's easier to do a fictional character as opposed to doing an actual real-life character, but I think it was like Dwayne Wade. Did you guys see his statue that he got in honor for him? The freaking thing looked awful. But, this statue looks pretty freaking awesome. You got the lantern and everything, and holding up the fist, holding up the ring, so that's pretty freaking sweet, man. I think that's in the same plaza as I think it's in the same area as the Batman statue, and I think the Wonder Woman one is not too far away from that either. So that's pretty sweet. But I'm pretty sure with Superman coming out next year, they're definitely going to unveil a Superman statue somewhere. I'm just kind of wondering what it's going to look like. Is he going to be floating? Is he just going to be standing like this? Probably. I don't know if they want to go too elaborate with like him just like levitating off the ground. And I need to talk about that. All right. And then we got Zack Snyder. Of course, we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's new movie, but you know what? This is what I love about Zack. He's such a creative person. It seems like when he takes time off from being creative, being a director and everything, He just finds an outlet for creativity in other ways. That's why when, there's always suggestions when, you know how it's been sometimes with those diehards when they're like, he's a filmmaker, that's it, no animation, all that stuff. It's like, no, he likes the arts, the craft of a lot of things. And right now, it seems like he's kind of, obviously, we're going to be talking about his new movie, and who knows what else is going to be down the pike when it comes to Zack Snyder. But he's into pottery. He's into pottery, and he posted this right here on Twitter. Excited to ship out this custom order of my handmade plates and small bowls to Michelin star restaurant Pasta Bar. I didn't see the slash right there. Pasta Bar. Let's see, it's Pasta Bar Encino. So this is in Encino, California. One of my favorites. Be sure to check them out. So that's what he's been doing right there. He's been doing some pottery, making these custom little bowls right there. I'm going to have to try this place out. Encino, that's not too far away. I'm going to have to go check it out, and maybe I can eat some pasta out of a custom-made Zack Snyder bowl. Why not? So he's just a crafty person, man. He's always doing something. Always doing something like that. You got to love it. That's why you got to love the guy. Oh, and I love this because everybody's been wondering who is going to be hosting the Oscars, this upcoming Oscars, which is what, in a couple of months? February? March? I always forget when it is because, well, it's like, okay, I'll still watch it, but, to be honest, we don't really care too much. And there was, of course, a nice little short list, and one of the ideas for somebody who could host or hosts that was put out there was, of course, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, which I thought that would actually be pretty fun, especially with everything and with Deadpool and Wolverine doing so well. I thought, hey, that would be a good idea. But Ryan Reynolds kind of was like, nah, not going to do that. Not right now. But to be honest, and this is a big time upgrade from Jimmy Kimmel, that's for damn sure. Conan O'Brien is going to host the Oscars next year in a couple of months. And I say, hell freaking yeah, baby, yes. Good idea. Conan is the man. Best late night host. I don't care what anybody says. He was my favorite late night host. Still is. I watched Conan when he was on The Late Show after Jay Leno. I like Jay Leno. Jay Leno was fine. Wasn't really around for the Carson years. I was too young. But, and then, of course, Jimmy Fallon, not really a fan of Jimmy Fallon. I was a fan of Jimmy Fallon when he was on Saturday Night Live. He was fine on there, but I don't really like him as a host. He's always, I'm like, he's always giggly and, I don't know, he's just weird. Kimmel, I liked Kimmel before when he was on The Man Show and stuff like that. Kimmel's not bad. I just not really a big fan. And then, of course, you have Stephen Colbert, which I never really found him funny. And then you got Seth Meyers. He's all right. But, yeah, when it comes to late night hosts, Conan's the man. And I think he's going to rock this shit. I think he's going to rock this shit. And I remember when he took over The Tonight Show, Jay Leno, and then it wasn't really working out because he didn't resonate with, like, the older crowd. He was more of the younger crowd. That's the sad part. When Jay Leno retired from The Tonight Show, they bumped up Conan O'Brien to do The Tonight Show, and it just didn't work because Jay Leno appealed to the older crowd as opposed to the younger crowd. So Conan, it was the opposite. So then the ratings dropped, and they tried to bring Jay Leno back for like a pre-show thing. It was totally a disaster. That didn't really work. And then they just fired Conan. And then they bumped up Jimmy Fallon right away. It was kind of weird. It was like a whole thing. And then Conan, he went through some shit, man. I mean, that was devastating. So devastating. Then he went out on tour. Then he got a late night show on TBS. TBS brought him over, and he did that for a few years, which I watched. I thought it was great because he's just really good at interviewing people, really good at improv. And then, of course, he has his traveling show that's on Max. He's got his podcast. So, and I think he's just going to rock this shit. Totally love him. James Corden, nah, it's Corden. I was never a fan of James Corden. I don't know. There's just something about that guy. I didn't mind, it was kind of cool when he did that, his driving karaoke thing, you know, that was fine, but I just never found him funny. Never found him funny. So, and apparently he's a douchebag in real life. At least that's the rumor. So I don't know. Oh, I see a Predator right here. Empire Magazine gave the first look of Predator. That's right. There's a lot of first looks that came from Empire Magazine these past few days. So we got our first look, and obviously we could see the Predator right there. And then, of course, Mr. Trachtenberg, who is directing the thing. So it's interesting because apparently when it comes to Predator Badlands, it's not, the Predator is actually the main star of the movie. So it's not, there's not going to be like a human main star. I mean, there's going to be human stars, but apparently he says the creature is front and center when it comes to him. But there was like so many things. Let's go down. Let's see here. Let's just kind of go through some things real quick. Because there was that. I mean, yeah, there's really not much. And he also said, like, you know, obviously Ellie Fanning is going to be like the main human character, but apparently, according to Trachtenberg, it's like the Predator is really front and center. And of course, she faced intense challenges with the movie, dramatically, physically, and logistically. So Ellie Fanning, of course, is also starring in it. And then, of course, there was like numerous other things. Not even sure what this, some Christmas movie. But then, of course, we got, hey, look at that. We got Scarlett Johansson rocking a rifle that apparently is, well, if you look, she's shooting a needle at something big. Something big. So we got our first look, not first look, but, you know, another look at Scarlett Johansson in the new, in Jurassic World Rebirth right there. So we had that. Then, of course, there was a synopsis of, you know, Fantastic Four, which we kind of just already know. It's just kind of like, all right, whatever. Oh, yeah, and then there was this, too. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Disney has removed the untitled Star Wars movie from its December 2026 slate, replacing it with the recently announced Ice Age 6. Womp, womp. I think we all knew that was coming. And then we have our first look at freaking Tom Hardy in this Havoc movie that I feel was announced and talked about like 2 years ago. Why is this movie taking forever to get out? Sounded pretty awesome. And this is from, of course, Gareth Evans, which, of course, did the Raid movies, and this movie's probably going to be insane, is a blistering, fast-paced action thriller with nods to Hong Kong cinema. That's right. Gareth Evans. This movie's going to kick ass, but sadly, it's on fucking Netflix. So that means we're probably not going to see it in the theaters, which sucks. And then, of course, we have Tron Ares right there, and I'm assuming that's, of course, Jared Leto right there coming out of a vehicle, looking pretty snazzy right there. So that's pretty sweet. It says Nine Inch Nails soundtrack is reflective of a grittier, more industrial sequel, says director Mr. Roning right there, Roning. And then, of course, yes, the man is back. Mr. Nobody is back. Look at that. Nobody 2. I think they've wrapped filming. Maybe they have. I don't know. But there we got our first look at Bob Odenkirk as Nobody from Nobody 2, back at it in full throttle. So can't wait for that. And then, of course, we got another shot of, which just looks weird. Just running. Show him running. And then some dude. I mean, this is an awful shot. Sometimes I just kind of wonder, like, why would you choose this shot? All the other ones look pretty badass, right? But then you got this one and then you got some dude in the background who's just like, I'll close the door. Why choose this shot? I don't know, it's just a dumb shot. Anyways. And then, of course, some other things. Yeah, that's pretty much it when it came to first looks. And then, of course, you have Andor on the cover right here of a 2025 preview. Look at that hair. Look at that hair right there. So, cool stuff from Empire. First looks. Gotta love the first looks. Let's see what else. What else we got here? Then, of course, everybody was talking about the, obviously in the Vodka stream, we were talking about the Tyson and Jake Paul fight. Yeah, shit was bullshit. Underwhelming, which, of course, it was. A lot of people were. I mean, the biggest thing is that we saw, Mike Tyson's butt cheeks. I mean, that was fun, right? My God. And then, yes, guys, I mean, I talked about this last week. Again, it's like nobody cares, and I don't get it. I'm fascinated. When I scroll through my YouTube shorts or TikTok, man, my algorithm knows I'm fascinated by it because I watch this shit. Is the fact that, UFOs, aliens, all this stuff, the hearings, and they're talking about these UFOs or these alien creatures underwater or something like that.
Oh my God, aliens.
And then we got this video right here. Now, obviously, this could just be like, it's, who knows what. It looks weird, but apparently this is something like some kind of jellyfish. And I think somebody said it's like a vampire jellyfish, which sounds freaking crazy, but they're talking about this kind of stuff right here. And my thought went, hey, fucking James Cameron knew. James Cameron knew, right? If the aliens are living underwater, James Cameron might be an alien himself, or he just got, early knowledge of it. If you guys have seen The Abyss, which if you haven't, do yourself a favor, excellent movie. But it's just like, geez. But nobody's really caring. It's like, oh yeah, apparently there could be aliens. Like, what? I remember, geez, man. Back in the 90s, that was like huge. There was TV shows and all everything. And everybody's just like, whatever. Yeah, whatever, huh? And then recently, and they say this for all the movies. But Simon Pegg says, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is the best film of the entire franchise. It's bananas. It's absolutely bananas. What he does in this one, it boggles the mind. Yeah, you've said that for every single Mission Impossible. You know what, Simon Pegg? You've been right each time. I mean, it is. I wouldn't say that, the Dead Reckoning was like the best in the franchise, but Fallout was pretty freaking close. I mean, my favorite's always the original of the Mission Impossible franchise, but it's just like, it seems like, we always hear that. Oh, it's a bad. But yeah, because they always have to up the game. But I mean, this shot right here makes me nervous. Like, who's going to die here? I mean, when they showed this shot in the trailer, I was like, oh no. Is Ethan going out? Is, what's his name in the freaking, Benji? What's his name in the freaking, I can't remember his name. I'm totally blanking. What's his name in the, what's his character's name? Benji? Right? Something like that? I'm totally just brain farting right now. Help me, guys. But, yeah, I was just like, yeah, okay, I can't wait. I mean, the trailer looked awesome. So, but, it's just, I'm wondering, because Tom Cruise said that he wants to do it into his 80s, which he totally could. I could see that happening, but, What's going on, Indiana Jake and Critic Chris and Gilmer and everybody who just joined right now? Hey, can you imagine the Penguin as a Pixar series or a Pixar movie? Well, somebody did. Gabriel Spars right here. Spares? He drew this out right here. And it just, anytime you take like a, live action characters and Pixar them, it's always awesome. And I love that. So there you go. You got your Pixar version of Sophia, Vic, and of course Oz right there. Good job, Gabriel. Gotta love that. It's just so freaking cool. Yes, hit that like thumbs up, like Antonio said right there. You gotta love that. Okay, so Glenn Powell. Again, Glenn Powell. At first I wasn't all about Glenn Powell. It's like, who's this guy? Who's this pretty boy? He's all squinty and grinny. But after seeing, Hitman especially, Twisters was fine. I'm kind of curious. Obviously he's becoming a movie star. He's becoming that guy. And, he's got movies that are coming out and shows, I think, too. I don't know. The guy wants to work. You could tell the guy is, like, all about working. And it's kind of interesting because I think he's kind of being typecast, especially after the Hitman movie. I think he's kind of being typecast because there's a series coming out where he has to put on some kind of disguise, and it's like has to do with like football or something like that. I don't exactly remember what it is. But then there's pictures right here from the Running Man set, and I remember seeing I think we went over some pictures before where he just kind of looked like he had darker hair and that's it. Now we got these images right here where it looks like he's wearing a disguise again. So I'm like, is he like in another movie where he's wearing a disguise? I'm like, is he being typecast as the guy that wears disguises? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, it's pretty cool. But there he is. I think that's Edgar Wright right there, because this is, because he's directing it. But I was just like, what the hell? Is he wearing another disguise in a movie? But then again, maybe this is the character before all the. I mean, I just know the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I know it's based off a book, and I'm sure that's what Edgar Wright is doing. He's going mainly off the book, which I know is going to probably be pretty different. Just like how Total Recall, like the, Arnold Schwarzenegger Total Recall movie, had the whole Mars thing and everything like that, and the book didn't. And then, of course, when they remade Total Recall with Colin Farrell and Jessica Biel, which I think is an excellent movie. It's a good sci-fi flick. It just didn't do well because everybody was all about the get your ass to Mars. Get your you remember when they did all that and his eyes were all bugging out and shit? But I'm like, is he wearing a disguise again? But hey, nothing wrong with that. Disguise the pretty boy. And then, yes, guys, if you guys saw the date, so today is November 18th. Yesterday was November 17th. And we all know the significance of the November 17th date. That's right, because, back in 2017, you went and saw a movie called Justice League, and you were met with this right in the opening scene. Dear Lord. I mean, if you saw it I saw it a couple of days earlier. I saw it that Monday beforehand. So I think I saw it on the 14th. But it was like, oh yeah, it's the anniversary. And it's just like, oh man. I still remember my smile going like this. That was an awful day. And that was the premiere day too, if you guys remember. And then I tried to with my videos. I was like, it's okay, guys. It's I think this is what's happening. Oh man. A lot of us were kidding ourselves when it came to the premiere of that movie. Holy Lord. But I remember his face. And I remember telling one of my really good friends who's a big time Cavill fan, she thinks he's hot. He's hot. I was like, oh man. I remember going to see it that following Saturday. And I'll still never remember because I was sitting next to her. She's a big time Cavill fan. And I already warned her. I was like, you might not like what his face looks like in the opening. And I remember in the corner of my eye, I saw her go like this when she saw his face. She covered her mouth, and I just looked at her. I was like, yeah, I know. So bad. Oh, so bad. But 2 years later, we were met with Ben Affleck, of course, tweeting out #release the Snyder cut. So at least we can have that. And then, of course, Zack was tweeting it out. He was quote tweeting. We had Gal Gadot tweet it out. Of course, Ray Fisher. I mean, that was a good day too because they're pushing, because selling it, of course, to HBO Max. So at least we can have that. Yeah. Oh, I know, Stephanie. We put the blinders on. We were trying to. I mean, I knew that it was like, but I was just trying to be like, okay, it's not all that bad. I think the second time, I posted a second reaction after seeing the second time. I said, hey, go in thinking it's a DCAU movie wrapped in flesh. At least you could say it like that. But man, little did we know we were on an adventure after that one. Holy Lord, were we on an adventure of that one. And then, guys, well, I'm going to give my review of the first episode of Dune Prophecy, but good old IGN, you got to love IGN. They gave it a 5. Many of the more character-focused elements of its story are thrilling, but with a lack of cohesive vision, the prequel series fails to live up to the expectation of quality set by the books and films. So that means Dune Prophecy most likely is going to be good, right? Because they gave the Penguin a 5 also. Remember that? IGN, not really good at reviewing things. They like to poo-poo on a lot of things. So I don't know about that. But like I said, I'll give my review of the first episode. I'm Popeye the Impaler Man. That's right. Popeye the Impaler Man. That's what I'm calling him. But yes, did you guys see this? And there's a trailer out. Haven't watched it yet, but yes. The trend of our our most cherished and favorite cartoon characters from our childhood, our hoods, I should say, are now being turned into horror movies. And of course, these shots, there's a couple of shots of, and I just posted this one right here on my Twitter. Obviously, he's got the big bulging forearms. He's got blood all over his shirt right there. And yeah, I haven't watched the trailer yet. I know it's probably ridiculous. I haven't seen the Blood and Honey movies, and I know there's the Peter Pan movie coming out. There's the Pinocchio movie coming out. There's all kinds of movie. And I say, you know what? I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's fine. Keep on going. They make money because they're made for cheap, and then and they make money. They make a profit. So hey, there's nothing wrong with that. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. And now we got Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith. So first off, okay, so this is kind of, I mean, this is great, and I love it. I love it that Kevin Smith actually responded to this, because when I saw this, Deadline posted this article right here. Kevin Smith says Dogma 2 is happening with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon returning. And I was like, hell yeah, I love the first Dogma movie. And Kevin Smith corrected, and of course Community Notes also corrected, said, to be fair, I said like it's right here, to be fair, I said I started writing a sequel in my head on Thursday night, so a Dogma sequel script is eventually happening, but that doesn't mean a movie is getting made necessarily. And while I plan to include Bartleby and Loki, I've not spoken to Ben and Matt about it yet. So good on him. But it's just kind of funny because Deadline was just like, yeah, post that article. Post that article. I mean, it literally says like, oh yeah, the script, yeah, Dogma 2 is happening, and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are coming back. It's like, whoa, pump the brakes there a little bit. That's the problem. Even Deadline jumping the gun like that. Even Deadline had to like get debunked. Crazy. It's like, why? Man, this stupid thing. Sorry, hold on a sec. My Stream Deck lost connection. There we go. All right, it's back. And we're back. Quick. Oh, yep. Oh, go away. There you go. All right, we're back. Do it, Kev. I know. I hope he does. And I hope Ben Affleck and Matt Damon return. And maybe some of the others will too. Ah, man. Did you guys... Okay. Did you guys see this? All right. I mean, this is not movie related. I just thought it was funny because I kept seeing the video. We do still have a president. A kind of a president. I mean, obviously in January, I'm coming back, bitches, coming back. That's right. I'm going to make it great again. We got, of course, Agent Orange coming back to the White House in January, but we still got Biden, and apparently Biden was down in the rainforest, and he gave a speech, and it was just kind of funny because I kept seeing this video roaming around where he ended the speech like this, and it was just, so he just closes up his book, and of course, I think people added sound effects, and he just says, bye, and then he just walks off. He just walks off. Where's he going? It's just... He's all right, man, I'm done. I'm going to live here now. Okay, good luck, America. It's just like, he's done. He's been done. He's been done. Let's face it. He's not running the country. That's for damn sure. And it's just kind of funny. It just seemed like that. I mean, it almost seems like that's fake. That seems like a Saturday Night Live sketch. That he's like in front of where the Amazon is and all the brush and everything like that. He just turns around and just starts walking that way. I mean, I'm sure somebody probably like, hey, we, but it's just like, holy crap. I know. Yeah, you might be right, Stephanie. He wanted one final meme. Oh, man. He definitely wanted one final meme when it came to that. Just hilarious. I don't know. I just found it funny. I was laughing at that at least. All right, what else we got? Ooh, okay, that got deleted. Interesting. And then we got Eric Kripke right here, of course, the showrunner and creator of The Boys TV show. He had some interesting comments right here, and it's like kind of going like, Eric, well, let's look what he said right here. I live in absolute terror of becoming the thing we've been satirizing for 5 years. The thing about The Boys is that it's punk rock, and it hurts extra hard when punk rockers sell out. I'm really working hard to not sell out. Well, we got spin-offs, and I think another spin-off is coming, right? And, well, Homelander is, showing up in video games like Mortal Kombat, Fortnite, all that kind of stuff. I think the whole still remaining punk rock, I don't think that's really a thing anymore there, Eric. I think you're doing what you're supposed to do. I don't think it needs to be punk rock. I mean, it's a very popular show. Why wouldn't there be spin-offs? Because as long as the spin-offs, Gen V was good. I like Gen V. I thought it was a great spin-off. I know there's supposed to be another one that's going to be coming out, I think. But, it's not your fault that things get popular. I hate that whole notion that, oh man, if you, end up doing more and making money and stuff like that, oh, you're a sellout. It's like, fuck off. I mean, what's wrong with that? That's the one thing. One of my favorite bands of all time is Metallica. They said pretty much when it came to the Black Album, they sold out. They went mainstream. And I'm like, yeah, they fucking went mainstream. So what? If you listen to all their albums, they wanted to always do something different. They weren't trying to be like Slayer that sounds all the same. They weren't trying to be like that. They decided to, hey, we're going to take this approach, and they blew up. And then they changed a little bit. They got a little less metal and more hard rock. And then they went right back to it eventually. It's just like, that's just what happens. I don't know. To me, I'm just like, I think you're already there, Eric, but it's not really a bad thing. Just let it ride. Let it ride. Just as long as the quality doesn't suffer when it comes to future projects. That's what I'm saying. Nothing wrong with that. And then, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine had 19.4 million views on Disney Plus in its first 6 days of streaming. That's right. Who would have saw that coming, huh? No, nobody. Yeah, I mean, of course, super popular. I haven't watched it again. I don't even have Disney Plus. I canceled my Disney Plus after The Acolyte. So I don't know. I'll probably just watch Deadpool. I do want to... I don't know when I'll watch it again. I'll eventually watch it again. But, like I said, just like Spider-Man No Way Home, it doesn't feel as, crazy. Eventually I'll watch it again, but it doesn't feel as, I'm not in a rush because, going opening nights with like a big, huge group, that's just electric. So then when you're just watching it by yourself, it's like, okay, I'll get to it. I'm not in any rush to watch it again, but a lot of people watched it on Disney Plus. No shock there. No shock there. All right. And that is all the tweets. Now we got so much DC news. I watched it last night, still hilarious. Yeah. No, I don't doubt it. And I'm going to watch it again. It's just I'm not in any hurry, Like I said, you go opening night, it's just there's something electric to it. When I watched Spider-Man No Way Home again, when it came out on video, I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. But then it just you just lose something because you don't have that electricity of being there opening night with a big crowd. You just kind of lose it a little bit. So, anyways, all right. What are we going to talk about first? Holy shit. There's so much things. All right, let's see. Let's try to go in order as best as possible here. There's just too many things when it comes to the DCU. Let's see. I'm kind of just... Bear with me here because there was a lot of things and I'm scrolling through other feeds and all this kind of stuff, and I wanted to see, I'm scrolling through my feed and going, all right, what was the first thing? Okay, so one of the things, wasn't that, what was it? Okay, so let's talk about this. The first thing let's talk about is, oh man. So, the Superman trailer, we're all just going, okay, the Superman trailer, when we all just kind of think like, okay, CCXP might be a thing, and we're hoping that there's going to be like a DC presence at CCXP because it seems like that's a good place to do it, but sadly, when it comes to James Gunn, he ain't going. There you go. Sadly, no. I tried to work it out, but because of a million schedule conflicts, I won't be able to make it to CCXP this year, one of my favorite places in the world, with some of my favorite people. Womp womp. So there you go. no James Gunn at CCXP. Now, doesn't mean there's not going to be a DC presence, and doesn't mean that the trailer's not going to be released around that time, or even if he does like a video thing. I don't know. And then I was just kind of going like, well, then people were saying like, Peter Safran. Is Peter Safran going to be there? Sadly, no. Also not, but I'm like, who cares? I don't really care about Peter Safran. I mean, he's just the other guy. He's the guy that handles the financial stuff. Who cares about Peter Safran? You know, James Gunn is the guy. He's the creative guy. He's the face and stuff like that. But, I mean, obviously you're running a studio. You're trying to do greenlight everything. Plus it's around the holidays. Maybe he's going to take like a vacation because God knows he probably needs one. But, yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, man, not going to be there. But that doesn't mean something's going to happen. I don't know. But, when it comes to that trailer, let's see, where is it? Right here. Scrolling through. There we go. But he was asked about the trailer. And, you know, some people are like, when I posted that on Twitter, some people were just like, Super Bowl, man, it's going to happen at Super Bowl. I'm like, really? You think they're going to wait till February to drop the Superman trailer? Not to mention, do you think they want to spend a bunch of money for that 30-second spot on the Super Bowl? Because it really didn't work out last year or 2 years ago when it came to The Flash, right? Didn't really work out for it, right? So let's just face it. So maybe they're not going to want to spend that money on that. I don't know. But this is, here's a clip right here.
So when we will have the Superman trailer?
Shh, 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 shh. Why do you have to do that?
Won't be too long.
Too long? Okay.
Not too long.
That's awesome. So
there you go. That's it. Won't be too long. All right. So that was a clip. That was from the Omelette. So that's part of what was happening when it came to the interviews today. But yeah, won't be too long. So you might as well just say soon. Soon. As they always say, right? Soon. So there you go. So no CCXP. None of that. But apparently though, when it comes to a screening of Superman actually happened. That's right. And everybody's kind of going like, what? There was a screening? Yes, there was a screening of Superman. James Gunn let it be known on Threads. And then somebody actually asked him, how was the screening? Also, will any of the stars be at CCXP for Superman for autographs and photos? Which I hope somebody would ask, but sadly it didn't. But as you can see right here, when it comes to right here, it says back to Peacemaker Atlanta from Superman LA. And he said, great. So he had a screening. Now, what was the screening? Was it a screening? Test screening? No. Apparently, and I guess, I mean, there's no official thing, but the screening, if he's openly talking about a screening, it's not a test screening. It's a screening for the executives, of course. For Warner Brothers, for other people, probably for some of the cast, that's all it too. Probably not everything's finished, like VFX and all that stuff, and music and everything. But yeah, more of a screening for execs. Who knows? If there's anything that came out of that screening, I'm sure they were like, did they clap for 9 minutes? No, I don't know if they did that. Did they say it was unwatchable? No, I doubt they said that either. But you know, so that's what he and his wife have been doing. It's just been, you know, going back and forth between LA and Atlanta. But yeah, screening to the execs. So there was a screening. Said it went great. I mean, he just said great. That's the thing, though. I wanted somebody to ask. I'm like, is some of these people going to be at CCXP? Corn Sweat, Brosnahan, any of the cast going to be showing up? If he's not going to show up, they show up. I mean, that's what I'm kind of wondering. I was like, if he's not going to be there, maybe they'll have a video. Like I said, they'll be like, hey, James Gunn wanted to be here, but sadly he couldn't. And then, of course, he does some kind of, I don't know. But all I know is trailer, most likely, it's going to be coming out. It's got to be coming out next month, right? Got to be coming out next month. I mean, who knows when that's going to be? I mean, we already know it's on his hard drive. It's finished. Who knows, though? Who knows? All right. So then, okay, so, all right. What do we got here? So many things. Some things that wrapped with Peacemaker. Not going to be at CCXP. I'm just looking at some things right here. And, well, I mean, I guess we could talk about that first, maybe. Well, I mean, when it comes to Creature Commandos, there are people that have seen Creature Commandos. We've gotten some screeners. Some screeners have been sent out, and there are various people that have seen the full season of Creature Commandos and hearing good things, when it comes to that. But of course, spoilers are most likely going to be coming out because that's just what happens. As soon as people have seen it, some people don't hold back and they're just going to put things out there. I've been hearing good things. Again, it's a weird start to the DCU, sure. I mean, fine. We got 17 days? We got a little over 2 weeks before the thing's going to be coming out. Like I said, I'll be reviewing it like crazy. So we got a lot of people talking about, oh yeah, I've seen it. Hello. And we don't need to go over I'm not going to show any videos or some interviews or anything like that when it comes to some of the interviews that are happening with the cast and everything. I was like, I don't need to show all that. But when it comes to Peacemaker, he did let it be known, and this is pretty cool right here. Sam McCurdy, who won a well-deserved Emmy for his cinematography on Shogun, and now he's killing it on the Peacemaker. So he got Sam McCurdy right here, who, of course, if you guys watch Shogun, that is a beautifully shot show, an excellent show. So that's a good get right there. So at least, Peacemaker is going to look good. It's going to look good cinematography-wise. So there is that. And then, of course, there's some other things when it came to Peacemaker. But I think one of the biggest things, let's see if I can find it here. God, there's just so many different things. I'm scrolling through different feeds right here, trying to find everything. Should have had it all just linked up or ready to go. I apologize. I suck. But yeah, at least that's going to look good. But where's the video? I had the video ready to go and I can't find it. Damn it. Let's see. Hold on. I knew I had it. Oh, there we go. We had something right here. Okay, so I meant to put it at the beginning, and I posted. So we have this right here where we have James Gunn, of course, talking about the DCU continuity. And, of course, everybody's question is, what is going on with Peacemaker Season 2? How does it link to the DCU if it was linked to the DCEU? Especially when we saw that shot at the end of the Justice League, which, of course, you had shadowy Superman, shadowy Wonder Woman, and, of course, Ezra and Jason Momoa were present, and they had lines, and it was fairly cheesy, not all that great. And apparently there was supposed to be a Batman and a Cyborg that were also going to be there. But we have James Gunn right here kind of talking about this whole notion right here.
I mean, does canon matter anymore anyway?
Well, one of the weird things to me is and none of this is real. It may be alarming to people, but none of it is real. It's all just stories that we're telling about characters, and hopefully there's authenticity and truth to those stories because we care about those stories. The characters, the actors, the performers, the animators, they all care about these stories. But it's not real.
Right.
So what's canon can really be whatever you want to be canon. If you want to pretend that, Greedo and Batman go on, adventures together, you can pretend Greedo and Batman go on adventures together. That can be your canon. I know that is your
You just stole my fan fiction.
So talking about canon. And yeah, I mean, what I've always would say too when it came to people that were pushing back on Zack Snyder's interpretation of these characters that when they didn't like it, I was like, fictional characters. I mean, I might use that as, yes, it's not real. So when we're all freaking out about all the stuff, I'm like, it's just, to me, it's like, okay, I don't know how he's going to explain it because he does mention when it comes to, here's a quote right here when he says, I'm a great believer that if you tell a good authentic stories, if a movie, or here we go right here, I'll read the quote right here. I am a great believer that if we tell good, authentic stories, if a movie does well or not, if you keep with the same philosophy that you're going to build a universe that people are going to love and want to be a part of for a long time. So talking about stuff like that, telling good, authentic stories and being totally stranglehold to the whole canon thing, I don't know. The way I look at it, the way I've kind of looked at it, especially when hearing and reading some of this stuff that's been put out there today is so when it comes to that Peacemaker scene in the Justice League scene, yeah, there's going to be some explaining to do when it comes to that, sure. But, of course, he even said that, hey, when it comes to that, he also mentioned that that's going to be probably something they're going to deal with in the next season of Peacemaker. So apparently they're already setting the building blocks for another Peacemaker season. I mean, of course, if Peacemaker season 2 does well, they're going to explain that very much. So that's what's going to be interesting, is like, how exactly do you explain that in Peacemaker 3? But then at the same time, I'm like, just tell a good story of Peacemaker. Incorporates, I guess you're going to incorporate Rick Flag Sr. going after you because you killed Rick Flag Jr. See, the bad part is like when James Gunn came in, he came into a universe that was already just like falling apart. He was already coming into a universe that was falling apart. So then he does Suicide Squad, takes the actors who are part of the first Suicide Squad, throws them into this one, and then this one makes them, a little bit different. It's a little kookier and everything, and kills off some of them. Some of them continue, obviously. And then, of course, he spins off Peacemaker. Peacemaker does well where it gets a green light, so he continues. But then all of a sudden, they start going, oh, we're going to just restart the universe with Superman and all the other characters. So then you're like, well, what about that? What about that happened there? Do we just turn our back? Do we acknowledge it? Do we just ignore it? I don't know. It's just like he really came to DC at a difficult time. And then he was utilizing what he wanted to utilize, because remember, when it came to that Justice League scene at the end of Peacemaker season 1, there was supposed to be a Batman there, and there was supposed to be a Cyborg there. He said he wanted to use Cyborg and Batman. We saw the actor who was in the costume. He was supposed to be standing there, and you can actually tell that they shot it, but they removed the two characters. And it was like, well, why are they going to do that? Like, again, he was trying to be like, okay, I'm in this toy box, I'm trying to play with it, and then all of a sudden now everything gets all rearranged and everything like that, and now you're giving them full keys to the toy box. So now to make some new toys, and now you got to like explain. Yeah, it's kind of like a weird thing, but to me, the way I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right. Eventually, because obviously Peacemaker season 2 is going to be coming out right after Superman. I'm just kind of going like, all right, well, just link that up. I could forget about that scene because I didn't think it was a great scene anyways. I think a lot of us kind of just want to forget that scene. Do we really want to have, Barry telling Arthur that, do you fuck fish? I mean, we didn't really like it anyways. It was cheesy and stupid anyways, right? So we could just kind of forget that. Might as well. So just wipe it out. But of course, it's always going to be like a topic of conversation when it comes to what's canon, what's not, and what's this and what's not. But I do like what he had to say, because it's like, in comic books and stuff like that, everything just keeps going, and it's like, what is canon, what is not, and yeah, it's messy. But at the same time, do we have to really dwell on it? No, it's not real. It's not real. That's the way I just kind of look at it. It's not real. But yeah, should have been a clean reboot, but at the same time, it was just, with everything, they were like, well, Peacemaker is this one thing that's working. This is working. So I don't know. It's kind of a mess. Let's see. What else? Let's see. I'm looking at some things here just to make sure I'm not skipping anything. When I was like scrolling through, I just have like threads up. He did mention Batman, Brave and the Bold, and The Batman. Right now, we're moving forward with Brave and the Bold. That's happening right now, and Matt is writing The Batman 2, and that's happening right now. So, verified that both Batmans are moving forward, but he did mention, sadly, and it got all of us going, what the fuck, Matt Reeves, that the script is not exactly finished yet, and I'm kind of wondering about that, because he did bring that up. He brought up that the script, when I think Variety published it, they said that, the script is finished, but apparently it's not fully finished yet. And I'm kind of wondering, especially with all the speculation of now Scarecrow, when we saw the shot of the glove and the mask in Julian Rush's office, when that all came about, I kind of wonder if like the reason why the script is not fully finished is maybe they were just like, let's see the reaction of a lot of things. I don't know. Seeing the reaction to the series, who knows? But yeah, according to him too, it's still not completely finished, which can make you nervous, but at the same time, there's no way that they're going to be dropping Matt Reeves' universe after how well it's done, because the Batman did well, made money. The Penguin did very well too, and it's probably going to get all kinds of awards and everything, and it got great streaming numbers, so hopefully that translated. to that as well. But yeah, so it's just, but it's just like, man, when the hell is that script going to be finished? Holy Lord. And then he mentioned something about lanterns. It says right here, everything is to serve the story. The story is always first. The scripts are always first, and we would never be making this show if Chris and the guys have turned in wonderful scripts. And then, of course, he talks about it being an amazing series, very grounded. A very grounded Green Lantern series. Now, that can make some people nervous, but that kind of intrigues me because obviously when you think Green Lantern, you're thinking the cosmos, out there fighting on different planets, flying in space, doing all that, constructing things, obviously, with the ring, and you kind of go like, how do you ground that? But if he's going to say very grounded, and they came up with some good stories, and it's going to be like a little dark, a little gritty, a little True Detective, it still intrigues me, and I'm still very intrigued by that. It's like, yeah, do I need all the bells and whistles of like going, to the cosmos when it comes to Green Lantern? Sure, maybe eventually that'd be cool to see something like that. But right now, with all the budget constraints and everything, I'm okay with a pretty grounded story. I'm just kind of curious of how all that's going to be, how it all plays out at least. But hopefully there's some, like I said, really good scripts. And then, of course, he also got asked, like, how does it feel like when you see like kind of the backlash of Kyle Chandler being cast as Hal Jordan, being an older Hal Jordan. Basically, his response was, what? People had a reaction to a casting? Get out of here! Yeah, I know, right? No matter what, everybody's going to have a reaction to casting. Matt wrote over 3 hours in the Batman. Yeah, there's a lot. There's probably, there's no way he's writing just one. He's writing part 2 and part 3. I think we can pretty much guarantee that whole thing. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to, and when it comes to everything, we pretty much talked about everything that came out. Like I said, there's like interviews and videos that are like, that are floating around and quotes out there, articles and everything. Oh yeah, one more thing he did say. James Gunn actually mentioned that he doesn't know exactly which project he's going to be doing next. So it's kind of interesting, and I was going to run a poll too. I was like, what would everybody want to want James Gunn to do next? And obviously if they're going to do Andy Muschietti, if he's still handling Brave and the Bold, which, we haven't really gotten an update from that. But then again, I think I'm pretty confident that Andy Muschietti is still maybe doing Batman Brave and the Bold, so he could probably rule that out. But then you got the Authority, and that sounds like it's a passion project, so he actually probably will be doing the Authority next. If I had to bet on it or guess, I think he's going to do the Authority next, and then probably right after that do a Superman sequel, of course, if it does well, which, I think we could be pretty confident it's going to do well enough to warrant a sequel. But he said he wasn't sure what he was going to do next. But then he also mentioned too that there are multiple R-rated DC projects that are in development as well. So that was also interesting that he wasn't holding back on saying that there were R-rated multiple, not just like one, but multiple. Now that could just mean 2 or 3, whatever. I don't know. But he said multiple R-rated DC projects. So that's kind of cool. I was like, all right. So it's not going to all be just, because Superman's probably going to be, fairly, PG-13. I don't think it's going to be a hard PG-13. The Authority's most likely going to be rated R. Or it could just be a hard PG-13. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But what I like what he also said, too, in one of the quotes, that, when it comes to ratings, he also said something about when it comes to ratings of these movies, he goes, whatever rating fits the story. He's not trying to stranglehold the movie to like a certain rating. Like we have to get a PG-13 rating or something like that. It's like the story. It's all about what the story, if the story needs it to be rated R, it'll be rated R. If it doesn't need to be rated R, it could be PG-13. So he's saying a lot of good things when it comes to that. Now, obviously money talks. And if some of this shit doesn't work out, then that's where you start, things start freaking out from the people above. Zazzy Pants starts going, what the fuck, man? But, maybe Zazzy Pants won't even be, he probably won't even be a part of this whole thing by that time. I mean, they might sell Warner Brothers. There's been articles, too, where, Warner Brothers might start selling different things like doing a yard sale. I mean, this was basically reported. I've talked about this before, that they might start selling things. If they were to sell DC stuff, I mean, I think DC Studios would just, like a whole in and of itself, could just get sold off to one of the other, Universal or God knows, Amazon, I don't know, somebody like that. That very well could happen, but I know there's some people out there that think that, oh yeah, they'll just sell DC, wipe everything clean, get rid of James Gunn, and start over. I'm like, no, it'll just be like how when Disney bought Marvel Studios, everybody just goes with it. It's a thing. DC Studios would go with it. I don't think if Universal wanted DC stuff, I think they'd be like, yeah, we want you and James Gunn and all that stuff. We get everything together, and then they just continue on. You just see a Universal sign in front of it. See, that's the thing, is I think that's what people fail to realize when you hear about stuff like that. It's like, no, they're not going to just get rid of, no, they'll probably just, it'd be like in a hole, just like how Marvel Studios, before it got sold to Disney and bought out by Disney, Kevin Feige and everybody just went, okay, we're over here now. We're owned by Disney. It's like Lucasfilm. Okay, we're over here right now. We're owned by Disney. Yeah, logistics. But I have a feeling in the next couple of years, Zazie Pants will be out of the picture. That's most likely what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, Universal is like a top contender. Yeah, they have the DC universe and the fucking monster universe. That'd be crazy. We could have some crazy crossovers right there. All right, enough about the DCU and Gunny Pants. Let's talk about Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's new movie. Now, we kind of already talked about this on the Vodka stream, and I just wanted to talk about it again because why not? I love Zack Snyder, and I'm curious when it comes to this movie, and I'm still, I'm relieved because I was worried that maybe that there was going to be a ripple or something, a rift when it came to Zack Snyder and Netflix after everything that happened with Rebel Moon and not being the big success that they were hoping it was going to be. Scott Stuber not there anymore. Dan Lin wasn't sure the relationship there because, there was a big stink when it came to Dan Lin and when he was going for the DC job, and he said something on a podcast. So, but apparently everything's A-okay. And I'm glad that Zack is going to be finally making a movie where he doesn't have to sit in that little village, is what they call it, way off the set, bunch of green screens everywhere in a warehouse, that he could finally do something close and gritty and everything. And I just kind of wonder certain things, obviously, when it comes to this LAPD action thriller. So we saw the article. It's going to be an LAPD movie. Cool. And everything. He's going to be writing this, of course, with Kurt Johnstad, which I've met him. Really nice dude. Wes Collier, really nice dude, of course, as well. That's going to be producing it, so stepping away from it. But the quote right here, which gives you some confidence, is this one right here. Years ago, Dan Lin, Netflix's head of film, and I had a conversation about our shared interest in telling a compelling and visceral character-driven story set within the intense, complex, and captivating landscape of the LAPD. It's a conversation that has stuck with me. So as you would expect, I'm very excited to now have the opportunity to partner with Dan along with the rest of my amazing partners at Netflix in developing this story. It's just kind of weird, though, because Zack hasn't posted anything about it. You think he would? He's posting about his custom-made bowls for that pasta place, but I haven't seen, he hasn't tweeted anything, he hasn't put anything on Vero. Kind of interesting, but questions I had when it came to this, I'm like going, first off, is he doing the cinematography? And because a lot of people were kind of wondering, because he did it on Army, he did it on Rebel, going to be interesting. Some people don't like that he's behind the camera and didn't like some of the things that he does, but what I always like about Zack is he tries something new, and I just appreciate him being the cinematographer. I don't know. There's just something. A lot of people, of course, want him to bring Larry Fong back. And then another question I had, if he's going to do like a more grounded, gritty LAPD story, does he use slow motion? Does he throw the slow motion out? I know that's his signature, but it's not like he's always done it. Man of Steel doesn't have slow motion, which is kind of interesting. And I just kind of wonder, would he attempt to not do slow motion again? I love the slow motion, but I just kind of wonder if maybe he goes, you know what? I'm going to make it more of a shaky cam, maybe like how End of Watch was. David Ayer, end of watch. Maybe you can make something like that. Probably not, but I'm just kind of going, does he not do the slow motion? Then I'm kind of going, well, I mean, he's so known for the slow motion, it'd be hard to just like not do that, but I would actually appreciate it. I'd be like, oh wow, he's not going to do slow motion. That'd be crazy if he doesn't do slow motion, but we'll see. But anyways, when it comes to this, I can't be more happy. I love the fact that he's going to do some original grounded cop movie. And then hopefully, I mean, we know that Las Vegas essentially got canceled. And I don't know what's going on with Planet of the Dead, but hopefully at least after this, maybe Rebel Moon Part 3. Because I'm kind of wondering if like this was like, okay, we let you play with the toys. We let you play with like the big toys. Now give us like a low budget cop thriller. Do that. And then we'll let you go back to play with all the big toys again. That's what I'm kind of wondering, if like it's one of those things where like, hey, we're kind of scaling back a little bit. We appreciate you. We still want to be partners with you, but let's make something small and cheap over here. We know you can handle a budget. Let's do something like that. And then we'll go back over here. We'll revisit Rebel Moon and maybe Army. Who knows? So that's what that's my hopes right there, but we'll see. Man's cooking fine steaks and wine. Yeah, let the haters hate. Who gives a shit? Fuck them. Fuck them. That's what I say. But yeah, I'm excited for it. And then I'm wondering if that UFC movie is going to happen. And the UFC movie, that sounds like it's something that is perfect for Zack. That might be next. Who knows? But it was funny because when I went to the director's cut screenings, I was talking to Wes Collier, and I tried to get it out of him. I'm like, so what do you guys, what's going on next? And he goes, well, yeah, we got some things. He just kept going, yeah, we got some things. And I'm like, yeah, there's like something that just possibly a UFC movie, or is it? And he goes, I can't say anything. I was trying to get it out of him. But of course, he's not going to say anything. Because, there's NDAs and all this stuff. But I'm just like, Zack, man, post about it. Let's hear this. I mean, at least there's a quote. There's at least we have a quote from Zack saying all that. So that's cool. All right. Box office. And the red one is officially the dead one. Didn't I already say that joke? I shouldn't. I repeated myself. But yes, that's right, guys. We had the red one come out. And, well, if it was just a standard Christmas movie, the numbers aren't all that bad, but the fact that the reported budget got inflated to $250 million plus just kind of makes you go, what the hell were they thinking? And if you actually watched the movie, you guys saw my review, I wasn't too impressed. I didn't feel like it was $250 million plus. I'm like, where exactly did all that money go to? Did half of it go into $7 theater's pocket? I don't know. Red won $32.1 million of the weekend. It did take over the box office, beating out Venom. And then, of course, $51.1 million international, bringing the grand total to $83.2 million worldwide. And then we had Venom: The Last Dance. Venom: The Last Dance is at $436 million. Reported budget, $110 to $120. So Venom: The Last Dance is doing well. That means Sony's like, yeah, let's get that Agent Venom movie kicking because this Venom movie is done. But again, it just kind of shows you right there that Dwayne Johnson, not a huge box office draw. Chris Evans, not a big box office draw. When they're part of franchises, you get him back as Captain America, everybody shows up. You get Dwayne Johnson back in the Fast and Furious franchise or Jumanji, people show up. Original movie, not so much. But this movie could find life on streaming and other places. That's the thing. That's what we got to realize. Yeah, box office always going to be the first number that we see, the first numbers that we get when it comes to data. But this thing is probably, wherever it lands, it looks like a Netflix movie. I thought it was a Netflix movie at first. It's probably going to land on Netflix. Guarantee you it's going to be like number one when it lands on there. And they might try to they're probably going to put on streaming or at VOD or whatever. It's definitely going to be put on streaming or whatever, or VOD before Christmas, and I guarantee you it's probably going to do a pretty good job. People are going to want to rent it, watch it with the family, because it's a family movie. It's a family movie, okay? I didn't really enjoy it all that much. I thought it was a little half-assed and whatever. I wasn't like a big fan of it, but, you know, it is a family Christmas movie, and I think if they get it out on streaming or get it out on, you know, VOD, I think VOD, they can make a pretty good killing on it if they get it out like a week before Christmas. I think it could really do some numbers, but we'll see. Rock can't act. He can act. Well, I hope that new A24 movie he's doing can show like that, hey, he can do a little bit. It's just funny because he acted like Dwayne Johnson, but more robotic, if that's even possible. So, and to round up today's show, let's talk about Dune Prophecy Episode 1. That's right. To fill that Penguin void, now we got the Dune void. And we got a prequel to the Dune story, Dune Prophecy, which of course sees the Bene Gesserit. We see them before, you know, everything that happens in the present day Dune story with, everything, which of course we're all very much looking forward to what Mr. Villeneuve is going to be giving us with Dune Messiah. And I will say that one of the things that is missing is his touch to this universe. I mean, I will say it is noticeable. It is noticeable, like, the quality is not, obviously, Denny's quality, you know, Hans Zimmer score, all that. But you have to go in and go like, yeah, of course it's not going to be. Of course it's not going to be that quality. So, but I would say overall, watching this episode, it starts off slow, which I thought it would. Thought it would start off slow, building everything up because they do this whole thing where, like, the main character, what's her name? The main character, scroll. Yeah, it's a Harkonnen. Her name is Valia. And basically, you see her as a child, and then they jump 30 years later, and basically, obviously, she's trying to pave the way of one of the sisters making a throne. So, of course, you know how they are. You know how the Bene Gesserit are. They are always trying to make it into all these little high spots and stuff like that. But something does happen when we get this one dude named Desmond Hart who shows up, and then of course there's like this whole weird kind of marriage thing that's going to be happening, and it's kind of interesting because it involves like a 9-year-old boy. And anyways, yeah, it's a whole thing. It's part of, like, you know, the customs and everything that's happening in this world. But there's something not right. What I really liked about what they show in this episode is, oh yeah, you actually, because when you watch just the normal Dune movies, you're just seeing kind of like wow, this world seems kind of boring. But now you actually, like, you see a nightclub. You see a nightclub setting in this episode, and like, oh yeah, you know, and they're getting high on some spice and shit like that. And so you actually see that. But man, the ending, this is where I was like, okay, you got me. The ending of this episode, fucked up. There's a fucked up thing that happens, and it's just like, oh shit. Okay. Oh man, shit. I think I well then, I bumped the button when I was, because I'm too animated. I bumped my freaking button. Sorry about that. Yeah, I totally just bumped the button. That sucks. My bad, guys. Anyways, I liked it. I'm good with it. I don't know when I bumped the button, but I'll just say I liked it. The ending is like, it hooks you. You go, oh shit. Like some effed up things happen, and yeah, I'm all set. So, yeah, sorry about that. When I was being animated, I totally bumped the button. But that's part of me, man. I'm animated, so sorry about that. All right. But yeah, watch it. Watch it. If you have Max and you like the Dune world and the Dune movies, watch it. It's pretty interesting. You see more of this world and you get to know more of like the mythology of the Dune universe. And like I said, the ending, like the last 2-3 minutes, you go, oh shit. Okay. You got me. All right. Twitter questions. Darren, Mr. Laugh Now, Cry Later. Since we are going to have 2 live-action Batman universes, do you think it's a chance the Batman Part 2 can be rated R? That is a question right there now, because the Penguin was rated R, a lot of F-bombs, and some gory moments. When it comes to somebody getting stabbed or shot or something like that, or tortured. So yeah, it would be kind of interesting, but I highly doubt they'll do it unless maybe they'll have the balls to do it. That'd be interesting. Maybe they'll just be like, fuck it. But I just don't see that happening. And I could see Matt Reeves still just writing a hard PG-13. So, it would be pretty sweet, but but that would be cool. Eric, hey Dave, it's been brought up a lot how way back Zack was offered a SWAT movie. He was offered the SWAT movie, but that fell through in large part because they didn't like his idea of an R-rated film. So it's a good bet his cop thriller is essentially Zack showing what those doubters have gotten. Yes, it says LAPD. LAPD works with SWAT, but if it's going to be a grounded LAPD movie, it seems like it's going to be more about like the cops as opposed to SWAT, because SWAT's like essentially, wasn't that supposed to be the SWAT movie that ended up coming out with Colin Farrell and Sam Jackson? Wasn't it supposed to be like the SWAT movie? And they were like, no, you can't do R-rated. But, I'm sure he's going to be like, it's going to be part of that, and maybe there's going to be SWAT involved. But again, we don't know all the details, so you could be onto something there. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question 1. With Peacemaker Season 2 revealed to be releasing a month after Superman, is there a small chance Waller will release in late 2025 or somewhere in 2026? I would guess 2026, because I don't think they're going to start filming Waller until, they're going to start filming Supergirl and Lanterns. And I think, Supergirl starts filming in beginning of the year, January, February. Lanterns is most likely going to be shooting around the same time. And I think that's what even Gunn said too, that they're going to be coming out around the same time in 2026. Waller, I'm not sure exactly when, but he did mention something. All 3 of those are going to be coming out in 2026. So at least in 2026, we're going to get 2 series and a movie. And God knows what else. But hopefully maybe another movie. Who knows? Wait, did I not finish that? I did not finish your stuff. Sorry. Question 2. With confirmation of Brave and the Bold now finally being worked on, do you think it'll release in 2027? It could be, yeah. I would say there's a good chance of that, because if they're working on that now, and if Muschietti is in fact the dude, they already have their director. It's all they have, they just have to work out all the details, and I could see them starting to film that. The production for that could start in a year, or the beginning of 2026 to come out in summer of 2027. So, yeah, I think there's a good chance. Just kind of makes you wonder, though, if there's going to be a Robin in there, does that mean there's not going to be a Robin in Matt Reeves? So now it's like, maybe that's one of the reasons why the fucking script, I don't know. Was Matt Reeves intending on having a Robin or not? Those are some questions I have. And then question number 3, with Gunn confirming he will direct more projects in the DCU, which would you personally want him to direct? I think the Authority is the one thing. With Superman already being test screened, it's not test screened. They just put it out there for executives, apparently. Is it possible that it gets screened as much as the Flash? There will be... No, I don't think it's going to be that. I think hopefully they learned their lesson when it came to those advanced Flash screenings. There was like too many of them. I I don't think there's any problem with doing a couple, but they did like 2 weeks worth of fucking fan screenings. That was dumb. Mr. Nobody, question 1. What do you think the new Superman will continue in the DC? Okay, well, what do you think the new Superman will continue in the DCU with certain continuities, and what things do you think it will drop? Well, I mean, it's just whatever's moving forward. I mean, whatever establishes. I mean, it's just it's all about Peacemaker dropping continuity. Question 2. Why do you think Netflix doesn't have their big films in theaters more often? Because they're stubborn and they're all about the stream. I mean, they want people to subscribe and keep subscribing every month to their service. So they want to make sure that they always have your monthly subscription. Snyder's films should be on the big screen. Yeah, but I mean, it's part of the thing. I mean, it's always nice when they do a limited release, you know, and thankfully when it came to Army of the Dead and all, you know, the director's cuts and regular cuts of Rebel Moon, I got to see them, you know, all on the big screen, which is good, but not everybody got to do that. No, it kind of sucks. But I mean, that's just part of they're all about the streaming model. Braden, question 1. James Gunn said that Matt Reeves is still writing the script for the Batman Part 2. So do you think the Batman Part 2 could get delayed from the October? Now, I think they're still planning on it. Like I said, I don't know. I think the script, I think there might just be tweaking some things, and maybe it just had to do with the Penguin just coming out, and maybe that they were just kind of like wondering how the reaction was going to be. I don't know. But I think they're pretty much still going to be set to start filming in the beginning of first quarter of next year too. So there doesn't need to be any more delays, for God's sakes. God damn. I mean, it'll be 4 years after. 4.5. Ugh. Question 2, which DCU movie do you think James Gunn is going to direct next? I mean, my bet is on The Authority if it's not Superman 2 right away. If the first Superman makes a shit ton of money, if it just blows up the box office, which, you know, there's always a chance it might. I don't think it will. I think it'll do decent. But if it blows up the box office, they're going to be like, all right, time for, you know, 2. And I'm sure he's already got an outline as well. Hey, Dave, this is Devin Wooter. Hey, Dave, Mike Tyson versus Paul for Netflix. So boring. James Gunn confirmed he's doing R-rated movies. You think we get a Lobo movie? I don't know about a Lobo movie. Well, I mean, there could be something where that has Lobo in it that could be R-rated. I don't know. I don't know. It could be something. I'm just kind of wondering, what are these R-rated projects? Justice League Dark? Maybe? I don't know. And what's your favorite James Gunn movies? For me, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, this shot. Yeah, it's a good shot. Guardians 3 was good. I think the first one is still the best one when it comes to that. I actually like Super. If I'm talking about a non-Marvel movie, I thought Super was actually a funny, dark comedy type movie. I thought that was pretty good. And there you go. That's it. So much to talk about. Hopefully I covered everything. But yeah, there's a lot of things that came about. And who would play Lobo? Well, I think we already know. If all the rumors are true, it seems like the easy guess of who's playing Lobo is going to be Jason Momoa. And I mean, that's one of those things we'll guess. But yeah. Still wondering when we're going to get that trailer. I would say it's got to be next month, right? It's got to be next month. The whole thing about the Super Bowl, I'm like, yeah, Super Bowl, maybe they'll have something. I don't know if they want to spend that money again for that 30-second spot during the game, and then, of course, the full trailer online. I don't know if they want to actually do that and pay all that money, because it's so much money. I mean, the last time they had a Super Bowl trailer was The Flash, and it was so funny because, like I said, the Super Bowl party I went to, everybody was like, holy shit, Michael Keaton's back? Fuck yeah. Everybody was like excited, and I thought, okay, I think The Flash is going to do well. I think The Flash is totally going to do well. And it didn't. It totally didn't. So it's just like one of those where it's just like, yeah, is it worth it? Is it worth the money to pay for that 30-second spot? I don't know if that it is, but then you get a lot of eyes on it. But yeah. So I'm sure there's going to be, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. The marketing's going to be interesting. Because the marketing I mean, hopefully the marketing hits, but yeah, the marketing is going to be very interesting when it comes to that, and how much money they put into the marketing. Because, like I said, limited. It's all limited when it comes to DCU projects until they start making money. But we'll see, guys. All right, that's the show today, guys. Appreciate ya. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Do all that. Hit that like, thumbs up, share if you want to. Comment down below if you're watching this after. And follow me on Sock Meds. I should probably update some of this stuff. I don't go on Facebook anymore. I'm rarely on Vero because half the time it doesn't work on my phone. So I might need to update this whole banner. But I got the Patreon and everything that I need to, that I have some ideas. I had like a couple more ideas when it comes to the Patreon. So if you want to support the channel or become a member, whatever. Of course, you got Instagram, Twitter. Probably should put the X logo now, even though I don't like to call it X. Anyways, guys, have a good rest of your night. Have a good Tuesday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll talk about, of course, reviews of Wicked and Gladiator. Anything else? I got a couple other things that I wanted to save till Wednesday. One has to do with a fan film that came out. One has to do with an actor who played a certain Bat character talking about something. So we'll talk about that on Wednesday. And love you guys. Talk to you later.